Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Join hosts Dan Melnick and Qasim Masood as they explore big ideas, limitless possibilities, and engage with visionaries, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders who dare to dream big, get inspired, motivated, and find practical tips for personal growth. Think big, dream bigger, and ignite your potential.
Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. And if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us where you live and what you do for a living.
My name is Caitlyn Vanderhaeghe. I'm the president and CEO of KidStar Nutrients, and I'm from Vancouver, BC, Canada. And I run a supplement company for the whole family.
Awesome. So can you just tell me more about KidStar Nutrients? Like, how did you get the idea for this?
So I grew up in the health and wellness space. And after university, I started working for a women's supplement company. And I ran the supply chain from raw material to finished good. And we made great quality products for women. We talked about women's health before it was trendy. And then I had my own daughters. I have 3 girls. And when my second daughter was diagnosed with iron deficiency, I went on a hunt to find a great quality product for her. And I came up empty-handed. So I knew there were other parents out there that wanted something better for their kids. So KidStar Nutrients was born.
Awesome. But I guess like it's one thing to have this idea, but how did you actually go and test it? Did you work with chemists? Like, what did that process look like?
So in Canada, natural health products are very regulated. So when I first had the idea of making a great quality product for my own children, I went to the source. I went to the raw material suppliers, to the manufacturers to see what we could do with less. I didn't want any additives that weren't needed. I didn't want artificial colors, flavors, or harmful preservatives. And so that was step 1. It was, what can we make with less? And everyone was like, okay, we'll take this out. We'll take this out. And I just kept asking them to take it out. I'm sure they were like, stop with the versions, just accept it and move on. And I was like, it's not good enough yet. So that was step 1. And then you go to Health Canada and you apply for a license. And so you have to stay within a certain framework, which is quite robust here in Canada. So it's quite a lengthy process. It can be depending on what you're doing. So then, of course, that's the next step. We got licensed. Then you go back to the manufacturer and make sure that you can actually produce the product perfectly. And then, and then you hit the market.
Awesome. So I guess in terms of hitting the market, like what did that look like? Like, how have you gotten the word out so far?
We launched in January of 2020. It was an exciting few months before we could no longer leave our houses. So we really had to rely on social media because we weren't really allowed to go to a lot of locations. So we went to the parents. We made sure the parents knew about our products. We did a lot of Instagram lives and webinars and made sure they knew that there was an option out there for their children, just like I did with my own kids. And then from there, it kind of grew. And of course, as we got to open up the different cities and the different countries and getting there to do it in person was even better.
Awesome. So I guess like as of today, is most of your business retail or direct to consumer? Like, what does that look like?
Retail. So in Canada, we are in pharmacies, independent health food stores, small grocery chains, and then the larger chains like Loblaws and Sobeys and Whole Foods.
Awesome. So are you sold here in the US or only in Canada right now, or what does that look like?
We just launched our US pages of our website a week and a half ago. So we are now officially sold in the US, which is very exciting.
So you're sold in the US just D2C for now, but you're looking to maybe go here into some retail channels.
Yes. And I was just at Expo West last week. So we had a lot of great meetings of where we can take the brand.
That's awesome. So in terms of your business, is it like, so when it comes to D2C, do you mostly sell like from your website or Amazon, or what does that look like?
In Canada, we have some great e-commerce partners that we sell through, and our website and Amazon. So we have quite a few channels for D2C, which is really good for across the country, especially because Canada's quite vast. So being able to have better shipping by buying from a company on the other side of Canada is great.
For sure. So even now, right? I mean, like obviously COVID is over. So do you do like in-store sampling, or how do you get it in front of more parents?
We do a lot of trade shows that parents are at. So of course we get to demo the entire trade show. They get to try everything, which of course makes it easier because everything that we make tastes really good. But if you don't ever get to taste it, you'd never know. We do demos in store as well, which always goes over great.
Awesome. So what would you say is like the biggest challenge that you face in your business today?
Oh, being everywhere all at the same time. Really just choosing, because there's so many opportunities, there's so many trade shows, there's so many events, and you really want to be at all of them. And you have to actually pick what you're going to do that year and focus on it and take that.
Do you have a team, or is it just you going to every single event?
No, I have a team. There's about 5 of us, And so, yeah, but yeah, I try to make it to every event anyways.
Awesome. So like obviously now that we're wrapping up Q1 of 2024, so for 2024 to be successful for you, what would that look like?
So since Q1's just finishing, it has already been a very successful year for us. Just keep on going. We have a lot of momentum. I was on Dragon's Den here in Canada in November, and that gave us a really nice boost at the end of the year, making sure more Canadians knew who we were, which was an experience I'll never forget. And that's just, we're just going to keep going. Got to make sure we're talking to more parents, get in front of everybody so they know our products.
So can you just talk more about Dragon's Den? We've had guests here that have been on Shark Tank, so I'm not sure like how different that is from Shark Tank.
So Dragon's Den is the original, and then Shark Tank came after. But they're very similar, I would say, very similar in theory. But yeah, it was a very exciting experience. Of course, I was there for filming for over an hour, and then you guys only see 6 minutes. So I think I was more nervous on how the 6 minutes would play out than anything.
But did it help you more from like a publicity standpoint, or like, were you able to close around? Like, well, what did that look like for you?
Definitely, it was amazing for PR because more Canadians found out who we were in such a short amount of time. We did get handshake deals in the episode, so it was very good for us. So we'll see what happens.
Awesome. So what would you say is like the one biggest piece of advice that you wish you knew before you started this business?
That's a hard one. I always want to say that, just keep like one step in front of the other. Think, just keep the details small so you can tick them all off as you go. But the one big thing that I think that I underestimated was how much capital I would need to grow. Because if you grow quickly, you need even more. So from year 1 to year 2, we had a huge jump in sales. And of course, you need a lot more working capital to keep that going. So that was probably the one part, get your money up front so that you can grow better.
So did you kind of have to pause, or like how did you adjust to your increase in sales like at that time?
We didn't pause. We just kept going. It was more just less for extra marketing, I would say. You cut in different areas because you need product to sell. So that's kind of what we did.
Makes sense. So if we're going to have this conversation again in 1 year from now, where do you see things going for KidStar Nutrients?
I think that in a year we'll be fully in the US, and maybe we'll be looking at a different international market.
That's very exciting. So if somebody watching this wanted to reach out to you, do you mind sharing your website or social media? I guess best ways to get in contact.
Of course. On our website, we have an info email. So you can go to kidstarnutrients.com. And then on Instagram and Facebook, we're also at KidStar Nutrients.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thanks. All right. Bye.